The Tiananmen Square protests, known as the June 4th incident, in China were student-led demonstrations held in Tiananmen Square, Beijing, during 1989. The protests were precipitated by the death of pro-reform Chinese Communist Party General Secretary Hu Yaobang. In April 1989, amid the backdrop of rapid economic development and social change in post-Mao era, reflecting anxieties among the people and political elite about the country's future. The reforms of the 1980s had led to a nascent market economy that benefited some people but seriously disadvantaged others. And the one-party political system also faced a challenge to its legitimacy. What an asshole, by the way. Common grievances at the time included inflation, corruption, limited preparedness of graduates for the new economy, and restrictions on political participation. Hold on, this guy killed my teammate. That's not good. I gotta kill him bad. He's gotta die really fast. Oh. Although they were highly disorganized and their goals varied, the students called for greater accountability, constitutional due process, democracy, freedom of the press, and freedom of speech. At the height of the protests, about 1 million people assembled in this square. As the protests developed, the authorities responded with both conciliatory and hardline tactics, exposing deep divisions within the party leadership. By May, a student-led hunger strike galvanized support around the country for the demonstrators, and the protests spread to some 400 cities. Among the CCP top leadership, Premier Li Peng and party leaders Li Jianin and Wang Zhen called for decisive action through violent suppression of the protesters, and ultimately managed to win over paramount leader Deng Xiaoping and President Yang Shangkun to their side. On May 20th, the State Council declared martial law. They mobilized as many as estimated 300,000 troops to Beijing. The troops advanced into central parts of Beijing on the city's major thoroughfares in the early morning hours of June 4th, killing both demonstrators. I thought that was an enemy. Or the protest. Killing both demonstrators and bystanders in the process. The military operations were under the overall command of General Yang Baibing, half-brother of President Yang Shangkun. The international community, human rights organizations, and political analysts condemned the Chinese government for the massacre. Western countries imposed arms embargoes on China. The Chinese government made widespread arrests of protesters and their supporters, suppressed other protests around China, expelled foreign journalists. What, dude? Come on. Expelled foreign journalists, strictly controlled coverage of the events in the domestic press, strengthened the police and internal security forces, and demoted or purged officials it deemed sympathetic to the protests. More broadly, the suppression ended the political reforms begun in 1986 and halted the policies of liberalization of the 1980s, which were only partly resumed after Deng Xiaoping's southern tour in 1992. Considered a watershed event, reaction to the protests set limits on political expression in China, limits that have lasted to the present day. What a dude. You're like the Chinese government right now. I'm just trying to run around, man. Remembering the protests is widely associated with questioning the legitimacy of the CCP rule and remains one of the most sensitive topics and most widely censored topics in China. Alright guys, well that's the video. If you liked it, make sure you leave a comment, subscribe, and maybe I'll get a trick shot montage up for you guys in the next 2 weeks. My mom wants me to help her move to her new boyfriend's house, because she broke up with her other one. So, thank you.